Hi guys, welcome to Darren's Maths Corner, and today we're going to be wrapping up chapter 2 of my GCSE book with some more revision questions over the chapter that we've just covered, and this will give you a chance then to refresh on what we've learned and to help you as you progress on in the world of maths. So with that in mind, as I mentioned, we will show you some more questions from each of those 4 exercises that were covered in this chapter, and we'll go up to a maximum of 10 questions in each chapter. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the standard approximations. Let's start with approximations. Now this one wants 3 decimal places. So I'll bold that, and then we will underline the 4th number. So we'll go 46. Bearing in mind we are looking at 3 decimal places. If the number that's underlined is less than 5, the 3rd decimal place stays as it is. If it's 5 or more, we round it up, so we add 1 to it. And because that 8 is greater than 5, we've rounded it up. 2 significant figures for this number. Let me put in the numbers, because these are not significant figures, the zeros. So those are the 2 that we need to look at. And we have a 9, which then becomes the following. So we round the 8 up. 4 significant figures. So these 4. So 4 significant figures. And we have 4,857, and then we'll put a 0 there. But because that 5 is because that 5 is equal to 5, that 7 goes up to 8. And 4 decimal places. Is the next one for this. And because that 2 is less than 5, we are going to stay as we are. 3 significant figures. Should be those 3 that I put in bold. $48.2, but that 9 is greater than 5, so then that rounds it up to 3. 3 decimal places, which are those 5. And with that being said, we then look at the 8, and we see that because it is greater than 5, we round it up. But then I've just thought along the ideas of just toying about with patterns later on down the line. So we then go into decimal places with this one. And we have just focus on that 6. because our 6 is greater than 5, we round the 4 up to 5, and that's where we end up as our estimated answer. 4 significant figures. This one's just going to be a unit. So essentially in this case we're rounding to the nearest 1. And because that 5 is greater than, well, it's equal to 5, we round it up to 2. And then we do 1 decimal place. So we'll keep the 48 in place. And then we'll round the 2 up because we've got the 6 is greater than 5. And then 6 significant figures. Two, 5, and that 3 is less than 5, so then we keep it as is. And that is the answers to what we are looking at in the revision of exercise 2.1. Next, we're going to round these to 1 significant figure. Let me just round those down. So we want then to focus on the 6 and the 4. Those would stay as they are. I think we're going to have to highlight the ones where we're focused because we've got next we've got these in a function. So 64 rounded down to 1 significant figure because then we've got, because it becomes 60 because 4 is less than 5, and then we've got a 6 which is greater than 5. We've got a 9 which is greater than 5, which then becomes 50. 60 times 50, or 6 times 5 is 30, and then add 2 noughts at the end of it. $3,000. And now what we'll do is we'll do the actual answer as well. Do it on the calculator would be a better thing to do. So it's 64.32 times 49.62. And there's where we are at that point. Because everything, I just found out that everything is rounded to 1 significant figure. Which is absolutely fine. I definitely want to try and do the 1,000 separators if I can. Let's round up, or let's rather, shall we, deal with this one. So we have 1 significant figure for that. While we focus on that, and then we'll work on that. So we have 1,000, no, we have 2,000 because we're rounding up to 1 significant figure, not 2. Times 0.04, because that 9 is greater than 5. So essentially we are working out 4% of 2,000, which in this case is going to be 50. going to be not 50, it's going to be 80. We'll double check that. It's 80, yeah. And then we do 1,882 as the actual answer times 0.039. Well, that's interesting. Next, 923. I'm going to work on these both at the same time. So they both, I'm going to do 3 and 4 at the same time. Because they're both working almost the same way, apart from one's multiply and the other's divide. And then that will then become 900. And that becomes 900 as well. And these both become 3. 900 times 3 in this case is 2,700. 9,000 divided by 3 is 300. And then let's add them. Let's do the actual sum. That's what the first one is. Try it again. That's what the first one is. Let's see what the second one is. Oh, we have a recurring. We have a recurring number. So we'll just do the 1 for now. And it's important to do that because that means that it's occurring. The next one is 4,363 divided by 4.55. Well, we have 4,400 and then 4.55 rounded up because it's one significant figure, 5, and that is 880. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's 880. Now we'll do the actual number. Gives you another recurring figure. Which is that. So you see the 2 dots on the top of the numbers, it means it's recurring. like that. The next one, I think I'll just put these in the middle. And then we have a fraction to deal with. 9,000. Let me just round that down first. That becomes 9,000 over that is 900 times is that 900, and that 4.63 becomes a 5. And 9,000 over 4,500 is 2. Let's see. Am I going to end up with another recurring number? Let me see if I've got the estimation right yet. 2. Am I going to get another recurring figure? Could do. Or maybe not. We'll have that instead. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Yeah, I've got them all in. The next one we have this proves to be a bit of a risky idea. To highlight these. Because it's overlapping the numbers, so we want then 100, because that rounds down, times 500, because then that rounds up, and then the 987. Now, it's important to note at this point that the 1, because this rounds up to 1,000, becomes the first significant figure after it rounds up. So we got 50,000 over 1,000. Yeah, we've got 50,000 over 1,000, which is 50. That's essentially what it is. Let me double check. It is 50. Now let's go Now let's go 123 times 456 over 987. And that's what we've got there. And that's the second exercise of this revision complete. Next, we're going to look at standard forms now. So what we do with this is we pick a number between 1 and 10, which is the 2.73. And then we go, how many times is this gone to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use this one. Or I can do this one. Right, we'll do. We'll double check that. And that is 5. No. We'll try that again. And that's the answer that I've got. So I do want to double check these to see if it works. The E in this case symbolises 10. And then what we'll do at this point is we'll go 3.48, because we've got a number between 1 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me try that. That doesn't help. Right, I think we're just going to have to do this one. So we want it is 4. Just like double check. It is 4. 34,500. Let's look at this one. So 3.45. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's double check that. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, that's right. And then you do this times 100. So what we do now is we'll do 3.4 times E. So we've got 4 there. Just remember it's minus 4. And then we'll take 2 of them off, because we've multiplied by 100. I'm going to do something rather peculiar here. Yeah. Not that though. I think I might need to use my other calculator for that one, my phone. Times Yeah, 0.0034. So yeah, that is right. And that is E minus 2. So that's fine. And then we want to do the following 7,500. So we do 7.5. E, it's 1, 2, 3. And then we're taking away 4 from that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm hoping that's correct. .75, yeah. It is right. Yeah, that is correct. I just thought I'd double check. Now, what we're going to do at this point is we're going to do the numbers in normal form. So we've got 1.9, and then we're adding 5 zeros to the end of that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will double check that to see if it's correct. I'll double check each one to see if it's correct. Like that, as an example. Now, the other ones aren't going to be too difficult because then you've got 6.8 and you're going 2 decimals to the left. So it's 1, 2. And that should be your answer. I will double check that anyway. And it is. And there we go. Now join me back in a bit, guys, because I just need to take care of a few bits. See you in a bit. And welcome back, guys. And I've just got back after taking care of a few bits. And we'll just get back to this. So we are at 4.75 times E3. So we then go 1, 2, 3. And that should hopefully be your answer. I shall double check that. And it is. That's what we've got there. And the next one. We have 8.4 times E4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that would be the correct answer as well. It is. Next is 9.6 minus 4, E minus 4. So then you've got then 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll double check that as well. And there we go. That's all those taken care of, and that's 2.3 done. Next one is what we covered in the last video. We've only got 4 here this time because of how complicated things got. So let's start with three decimal places. We wanted to put one next to that. Let me just sort this table out. And do actual answer. There we go. Now you get to see what's going on. So now what we'll do, that's in the middle, that's good. So we'll do 456 times the point, that is 42233 divided by 28,28344. That's what the answer gives you. Just hold it up. And then we will then do 3 decimal places, which will take care of those 3. Take care of those 3. And that will stay as it is because that 4 that you've got in the 4th decimal place is less than 5. And now we'll go to the next sum, which is 6.344 times 544.33. There's your answer, the actual answer that you've got. $22952. And then we want 2 significant figures. Bearing in mind that even though the zeros are not significant, they've got to be included because it keeps the thousands and the hundreds in its space, in its relative space. Well, 5 is equal to 5, of course, so then 4 rounds up to 5. And then remembering the 2 zeros because your thousands and your hundreds have got to keep its place. 4 significant figures for the next one. So if you want to do a fraction of something, you do that first. And then you press this button afterwards. And that gives you the square root of a fraction. 447.238 over 234.578. 4 significant figures of this. Three 807838882. Right, that's that one taken care of. And now we want 4 significant figures. Now, the 0 in this case does count as a significant figure because it's one of the 4. And the 7 is the one that needs rounding. So 1.38. That 0 will then become a 1 because 7 is greater than 5 and therefore you'd round it up. And last but not least, we want This is going to be fun. Ah, there it is. 4 over 4th power root of the following. Which is that's 4601 423 273. Yeah. And then, with that being said, let's turn the calculator off. We want 4 decimal places. With that 4 being the side or where the 1's going to go. We'll do the 4, 6, 0, because they're 3. And the 4's less than 5, so then that 1 stays as it is. And that is the answers to exercise 2.4, revised, revisited, whichever you will. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.